with The Walking Dead, one of the things I dug so much in the first season, it was only 6 episodes, and I think Frank really was able to make each show completely different, stylistically, story-wise. It was almost like 6 separate little movies, and again, I think the reason for shows on cable that there is so much success there is, again, because of the audience and what people are hungry for.
I don't know if you guys feel this way, but I feel like a garage band. Like no matter how successful the show is, it still pales in comparison to the numbers that they're getting on a network television show. And you said something that was really smart to me, and that is, we're not making our material for the masses. It's not a homogenized version of art. It is for a specific, targeted group of people. And you start off and you throw it up. And if people stick around, well, then those are the ones that are always going to be there, regardless of if you start playing jazz on this album, or the next season, you start playing heavy metal, hard rock, because it's in the service of this hopefully 85-hour movie, right. And that's what's so liberating about cable. You have a beginning and a middle and an end for every single episode, but over the course of the journey on Southland, your beginning is so different than your middle, which will be so different than your end. The same thing in the Killing and your new show, and the show that you've been on, and that's exciting.
Not all shows are as great as the shows that we're talking about today, and I think the big reason, we've been on shows that have great writing, fantastic writing, but sometimes the acting isn't great. We've been on shows where sometimes the acting is fantastic and the writing isn't great. When you get both, now you're onto something. All these shows, when we get to work together, all of us working together, and you get to have great words to play with, then you're really onto something. Whether it's cable, whether it's network, whether it's a movie, whatever it is. If you can get those 2 ingredients to really work, then you're going to get something special.
The budgetary constraints are so tight on cable that if the crew doesn't work, they're replaced. Everything needs to work together, it doesn't happen. The crew isn't so large, the pool of money isn't so vast that if something's not being done, we'll just get another person to do it. Everything's so specific that Southland, our crew is as integral to what happens on set performance-wise. We get scenes where camera guys are jumping in the car with us, they're holding on to me while we're moving. I'm sure similar situations, exist here, but it's not just the writing and the acting. It's now moved into this other thing where the crew is so personality-wise, talent-wise, and how they gel with everybody on set. It really is becoming. I'll speak for Southland. It's more of a theater situation. Everybody is so important, and I can only imagine that with these shows, the same 7-day shoots, budgetary constraints. It's all about the product. Nobody's there because they're getting rich. Everybody's there because they want to be there and they love doing what they do.
TV writers they do an amazing job in the theater. As everyone knows, a play can be 3 years in the writing, and it's often done with the help of workshops, with actors sort of helping the writer to model the stuff. These folks are writing 13 plays in nearly as few weeks, or 26 plays in nearly as few weeks. It's literally they're throwing stuff against the wall, word-wise, and I've only ever run into writers who, when approached in a nice manner, are grateful for input.
But in this experience in Justified, Tim and I have been invited to kind of sit at the table, and Graham and his writers, they make all the decisions on the big moves. But at the end of the day, we're trying to stay in the vernacular of Elmore Leonard. There's not one man that can do that. There's not 2 men that can do that. It takes a village to do that. And at the end of the day, what's so gratifying about this experience for me as Boyd is to infuse, to get the script, and then to say, well, now I can make it Boyd, and that's beautiful, because I'm a lover of these words, just as Graham is a lover and as Tim, and that's cool. It's a situation that I don't know will ever happen again in my life. And I don't know that I want it to.